Hello, everybody. This is Jonathan Matos of GraphicallyChristian.com, and this is my friend Obadiah Nunchuck. How do you like that one?
Obadiah Nunchuck?
That's not a good psych.
Doesn't make any kind of sense. No, because in psych the nicknames, the first and last names work together, and they're not just mismatches of just two random things that could be funny if you use them properly. All right.
I am shamefaced.
I'm not even gonna attempt it. Honestly, it's a fine art. It's not as easy to pull off as the famous Sean Spencer makes it. You know.
All right, so we are part of a site where we post comics, web comics to be exact, and from Christian perspective. And today we're going to share a little bit about some changes to our website. I dubbed this Phase 3 of Graphically Christian, Phase 3 Cosmos, because the website's redesign focuses on space and whatnot, because it seems like this year or the past year or so has been the resurgence of the space opera because of Guardians of the Galaxy and Interstellar and Gravity.
Okay, anyway, we're getting way off track.
It's not off track. It's
on topic.
It's explaining the aesthetic that I'm going for. I'm an artist. I deserve time in the sun for my.
Anyway, if you guys don't know who we are, because we are persed into your terps, we're posting this on YouTube for the first time. Have we ever posted a podcast on YouTube before?
I think we did way back when we used to be POW Comics.
Oh, yeah.
There was one or two, I think maybe just one podcast we might have
done. We don't
there.
Talk about those days. We're legally obligated to. We're under NDA. No, we're not. But anyway, we operate a site called GraphicallyChristian.com, like John was talking about, where we make Christian themed and gospel-centered web comics or longer form comics, or basically all sorts of things relating to any kind of pop culture comic thing you can think of. Basically like Marvel for Christianity. No, but not really, because we're nowhere near as successful. Not even in the same, I don't know, solar system.
I mean, our ethos for creators, I would more so gear towards image, considering we have taken in some people such as Joshua Warren. His comic No Apologies Allowed is kind of affiliated with our site because we repost what he posts over on his site. If you are a Christian artist out there, you want a platform, ours is steadily growing inch by inch, and it's just a way to get your art out there, and primarily we're focusing on web comics because comics is what we are most experienced with, and as an artist, as a writer, it's just interesting to me that comics can feel like you're producing something way beyond the means that you have. It's you can basically make your own movie or make your own short film, but you're just drawing it, writing it all yourself. So that's why it always appealed to me. But yeah, so we're just expanding. We're starting to make more videos on YouTube. I have a series now on Wednesdays called Sunday School Doodles, where I pick a scripture passage and I pick whatever is usually it's a movie coming out that week. So last week I did or yesterday I put out one for Minions, as the Minions movie's coming out, and I read a passage in 2 Kings that was about Jehu killing Joram, and that story, everybody who is being punished in that story is Jehu's minions. So that's what came to my mind when I was thinking about it. And next week, since Ant-Man is coming out, I'm going to put out one that is about Zacchaeus. The passage reading is going to be from that story, while the video is going to be me drawing Ant-Man. So look up for that. Look for that on youtube.com/comicfan740. Another thing that we're going to try to do more regularly is this podcast. We're going to try to put this out on Thursdays, so look for that more regularly. And another thing that we wanted to tell you all about, just to summarize all the changes that are coming to our site, I refined the Patreon page that we have. If you're unfamiliar with Patreon, it's where you can fund ongoing projects on a regular basis. So we have it set for per month, and we made the dollar amount suggestions where, if you pay $1 a month, you're going to get earlier episodes of our YouTube shows, which would be this podcast and the Sunday School Doodles show. And so if you pay $2 a month, you get those early episodes, as well as a digital fan art gallery. We put out a lot of fan art between our Sunday School Doodles and Fan Art Fridays. So you're going to get a whole gallery of those, and you can make your own wallpapers, or you can just use those images on your Facebook's, Twitters, and all that. And at the $3 amount, you can suggest a fan art / Bible reading for the Sunday School Doodle series, or you can pick a Graphically Christian podcast topic, as well as all the rewards before that. And then in the upper echelons of the payment amounts, if you pay $5 a month, you can get 3 personalized comics for your kids in your life, or if you want a certain topic covered, we can do that for you. And at $8 a month, you can get 3 personalized commissions a year, and you can ask for whatever type of it's fully customizable, and at $10 a year, or sorry, $10 a month, you can get 3 personalized prints a year. Again, whatever you want us to draw for you. So that's how the thing is set up now. And if you want to get more familiar with the things that we're producing, you can just log on to graphicallychristian.com, and really it's just a place for Christian artists. Our slogan, the one I came up with, was great art by Christians for everyone. We would just want to use our talents to glorify God. And if you support us at patreon.com/Christian Comics, that can help us do that more efficiently. So without further ado, the back end topic for this podcast is the upcoming Comic-Con, and what we expect, what we're excited about hearing from. And before we started this podcast, Matt was just looking at the season 9 trailer for Doctor Who, and I guess you can talk about that if you are excited about it. Is there anything you want to spoil for anybody? You want to let them see it first?
There's no spoilers in the trailer, really. It's like the definition of a teaser trailer. They really don't show. I mean, they show stuff from season 9, but they don't show you anything that actually tells you anything. It's just kind of like, hey, get excited, Doctor Who's coming back. Which, like, I'm cool with, whatever. They can do that. I don't have a problem with it. The show looks great. It looks visually, and in terms of production value, it looks better than ever. I've never seen it at this point where they have so many high-level effects that you usually just see in movies that's going to be in a weekly television show. Because I guess that's like, and I can't blame them because it's massively successful. But I guess it's like Britain's big thing now. That's Doctor Who. That's their huge thing. And it makes a lot of sense because Doctor Who's a very successful show internationally. So it makes a lot of sense for them to pour a ton of money into it. Plus, it's the BBC, and BBC has a ton of money at this point. Doctor Who, I
I
don't know
also
how much
noticed.
money they generate.
I also noticed that Disney XD is playing it now, so I
I don't
guess
know
it
how. I
has
guess it's in
more syndication.
syndication now, which is weird to me because the well, I mean, maybe the older Doctors are in syndication. Maybe like Eccleston and Tennant, and I guess Smith at this point because he's considered an older Doctor now, are in syndication on other networks because BBC went through a lot of trouble to launch BBC America so they could have a legit, cable network to broadcast Doctor Who in the United States. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me for them to launch BBC America and launch Doctor Who on BBC America and then turn around and be like, oh, and by the way, you can watch it on Disney XD, unless it's kind of like, an old school, like it's a deal where they can only play the first couple of seasons, which is probably what it is. But it's still cool that there's a place on TV where you can, another place on TV where you can watch old episodes of Doctor Who. You don't just have to, although I suppose Netflix has them. I don't know. I haven't really gone looking for them. Anyway, Doctor Who still looks awesome. It's looking more awesome every year. I can't comment on the story arcs just yet because obviously we have no idea. Clara's coming back. Somehow that's going to happen. We know that. We've known that for a while. Not really spoilery because if you're a Doctor Who fan, the end of last season, like they talked about it a lot and they hinted at it all the time that she was leaving. And if you're not caught up yet, so. I mean, I feel bad for you, John, but I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's like character's gonna leave and she's gonna come back, so it's like not really a spoiler because effectively nothing changes.
I also have no emotional connection to the character yet, so.
Oh, to Clara. Okay.
It's not really like.
I like her. I'm not as attached to her as I have been to other characters. Certainly not like Amy Pond was great and Rory was great, and then the Ponds were. The Doctor dynamic, Matt Smith's dynamic with the Ponds was just fantastic. I know everyone is like, Rose, I love Rose. I like Rose. I thought it was a really cool character and everything. I think, honestly, my favorite companion is still Donna, though. I love the dynamic that the Dr. Donna had. There'll never be Dr. Donna ever again. Nothing will ever be like that. I love it so much. Anyway, I'm not going to go into why I love the Dr. Donna thing because I'm not going to talk forever about that. Let's move on to the next topic because all Doctor Who did was release a trailer. Nothing still. It looks good. Let's hope it is good. That's it. Next topic. Boom.
All right. Okay. The next thing is that apparently they're having a Call of Duty Black Ops 3 panel. And they're revealing the zombies gameplay. Is that how you feel about it?
It's kind of how I feel about Call of Duty in general at this point. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, I've seen Black Ops 3 gameplay. I've seen some stuff on Hutch's channel, and I've obviously seen the trailers that they put out at E3. And it's like, looks cool. I mean, there's new stuff in it and everything, but it's like, I mean, okay. So when I saw the initial Black Ops 3 trailer, I was like, holy crap, you can do so much stuff. Like people are just, jumping on walls, back and forth, back and forth. They got bows and arrows in there now, and the bows and arrows are one shot, so they're actually like an effective weapon. And like they have this ground pound ability where you can instantly kill people by just jumping up and pounding down with these spikes. I'm like, oh, it's so cool. It's all so much stuff. It's finally gonna play. Because Advanced Warfare, the movement played different, but it was still Call of Duty. Like it was still, the shooting was the same and everything, and the movement changed a lot of things, but still at its core was Call of Duty. SMGs were still king, ARs were still super effective, and you still had the same strategies that you would usually use with SMGs and ARs in that game. It was just the movement was different, which changed a good bit, but it was still very recognizable Call of Duty and still kind of bored me to a certain extent, just because I've been playing COD for so long. But when I saw the Black Ops 3 trailer, I was like, oh man, they're changing the gunplay up. There's a variety of weapons that have never been in before that you have to use very differently. The movement in terms of running on walls is crazy because now you can double back and forth and everything. But then I started to see actual gameplay videos, and then it was just dudes running around with friggin' MP7 equivalents all over again, and I'm like, yep, this is Call of Duty. This is it. And I'm like, at this point, I think Activision will only let the developers change so much because they want to keep that tried and true Call of Duty formula intact. And to me, that's the exact reason why I'm probably not going to be buying Black Ops 3. I only bought Advanced Warfare because I have friends who are like, you gotta buy it, you gotta buy it, I got nobody to play with, you gotta buy it. And I was like, it looks fun enough, I'll try it. And it was fun for a while until people figured out the good guns and the good spots and the good routes, and then it stopped being fun because it stopped being about what was new to the game. It started being about what was the effective way to win. And every time Call of Duty there's always this point where a new Call of Duty game is released and everyone's kind of experimenting and everyone's kind of having fun for the first couple of weeks or months. That period of time, it's really fun because everyone's trying new guns and everyone's like trying new techniques they saw in all the videos, and everyone's just kind of having fun. And if you die, it was like you usually die in some crazy way, so it was really fun and everything. And then there's the point after that where people figure out the weapon balancing and which guns are the most effective, and this drop shotting work again or not, and or what routes are the most effective. And then it just gets boring. Then it just becomes like a sporting event or something. It's just like I don't care. Like everyone's just playing the cheapest, most effective way possible, which I guess they're having fun because they're winning a lot or they have a high kill-death ratio or whatever, but it's like, this game's not fun to me anymore. It's not different. I've been playing this core game for over 10 years now. I've played I played a ton of COD 4, MW2, Black Ops and everything. Like I've been playing this same game basically for years and years, and I've played I don't know how many hundreds of hours. Like I'm tired of this core game. I don't want it anymore. So it's just knowing that no matter how much they change, they're never going to change the core gameplay, and I'm just tired of the core gameplay. So that's why Call of Duty at this point to me is just one big sigh, because it's just like no matter what they change and how cool it is, ultimately people are going to play Call of Duty the way Call of Duty is played. And it's a sad thing because if everyone just played the most interesting and creative ways Black Ops 3 can be played as possible, then maybe it could be really fun again. But I know they won't. I know they'll go back to the tried and true methods. So I don't care. Anyway, that was a that was a quick question about one game that turned into a tirade about an entire franchise. I'm sorry if you don't like video games or don't care about
agree.
it.
And it's even worse for me because the fact is, I only got onto the bandwagon at Modern Warfare 3, and only after...
Oh, you got on at a low point.
What was it, 2 or 3 games? I was already done.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad.
There are types of gamers out there that I don't understand. I've determined at this point it just must be something different in the way that these people perceive fun, because there are people out there that can play hundreds and hundreds of hours of the same thing and still find it fun. I can't do that. There are people out there that have been playing World of Warcraft and doing the same raids and stuff, and of course expansions come out and whatever, and they've been doing the same thing for years and years. And that I can understand a little bit easier, a little bit more, because they do put out expansions and there are new content, new places to go, new things to see. But there are people that play Madden year in and year out. There are people who've been playing Destiny like their main game. They've been playing Destiny since it's released, and they just keep playing, and they're playing dozens of hours a week playing the same game. And I'm like, how can this still be fun to you? Like the maps, you're playing the same 8 map rotation 3 to 4 hours a day every day. How is this still fun? I don't understand. Don't you want something different? And I just
what I do understand
yeah
is the Con Man premiere at
okay, yeah, it's a good time to transition out of that because yeah,
Yeah, I think we both feel the same way about that.
Con Man, on the other hand, I am very excited for. I was kind of really guilty about that for a while, because when that first got announced, I was super into it. And I followed the Kickstarter campaign religiously, and I watched the first, like, proof of concept film or something. I don't know. I don't know what the first episode they're dubbing it as, like, as in terms of, like, what it was. If it was actually the first episode, the pilot, or the proof of concept, or whatever. I watched that, and that was great. I love Alan Tudyk.
Was that the bathroom scene?
Yeah.
Or was that just the trailer?
That was the bathroom scene. Maybe that was the trailer. I don't know. And then I thought they were releasing, because it got fully funded. Obviously, it got way overfunded actually, and I think they met all of their stretch goals. And I thought it was releasing for a while, and I just never. I was like, oh, I bet they've released episodes of Con Man by now. I should go out. I should go and look, go and find them and watch them. And I was like, I'll watch it. I'll watch this YouTube video, or I'll play this game for a while. And then I just kept putting it off, but I kept feeling guilty, because I was like, this is the type of content that I want to see in the world, but I'm not watching it. But now that I've found out that they actually haven't released it yet, it's a big relief for my personal conscience. So I'm not a terrible person.
For those of you who don't know, it seems to me that it's like it's kind of like Seinfeld, but from the perspective of like somebody like Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion are the people that are producing it. So it's kind of like a day in the life of them going to like a convention and being hounded by fans of this sci-fi show that they used to be on, basically like Firefly. And I forget which one is it, like Nathan Fillion's trying to get Alan Tudyk's autograph, or I forget how the trailer works.
I'm trying to remember myself right now. I know that the trailer is he's in the bathroom stall, in the public bathroom of the convention center, and another guy hears him. I don't know how it's been so long since I watched it.
Oh, I think he's on the phone with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And so he hears his voice, and it's like, and he's in the next stall over, and he's like, "Are you such and such?" Who was the captain on? I don't know what the Firefly equivalent's called.
They call it. They have obviously a bunch of made up names for all the Firefly references.
Right.
But yeah,
it seems
really
like
exciting.
kind of like a true to life Serenity thing, where it's like they made Serenity because there was all these fans of that show that felt like jilted, and so Joss Whedon was able to make a movie, and like as far as I know, it's pretty critically acclaimed, and it's like a cult classic among those people. But this kind of
brown
feels
coats,
like
John, not those people. Brown coats.
Oh, okay, whatever. I'm sorry, brown coats. Any brown coats listening, I'm not anti-brown coat. But anyway, my point is that I feel like this is like for those people who like, I think as artists they felt like, this great thing was stolen from them, and so they already gave the fans what they kind of wanted for like closure, but this might be them kind of showing like what life is like for them to have been a part of that type of thing, and then now it's like, it's gone, but they're also still going to conventions to talk about it. And I know there are people like, I don't even know his name off the top of my head, but the Green Power Ranger, and people like that still go to conventions for something that happened like 10, 20 years ago. And that's, Jason David Frank. He still goes to conventions, and I mean, he's even moved on to do like the MMA Jesus didn't tap thing. But they're still part of their life that is their public persona, and I don't know. I like that they're exploring that in that series. The next thing is Star Wars.
Star Wars. Stuff and
yes,
things.
there's a panel happening at Comic-Con. The big geek, like butthurt happening is that a lot of people were anticipating footage, and instead there was a press release saying, "We're sorry, no new footage, but we're gonna give you behind-the-scenes stuff." And
I like how they have to start with apologizing, because they know people are going to be pissed. It's like, we know what you want. We're just not going to give it to you. Sorry.
So, but I have to think that there must be something that they have in their like up their sleeve to appease the people that are like gonna camp out overnight to be there. So I'm assuming it's gonna be something like they trick Harrison Ford to go there again, or there's some kind of reveal that they're gonna have. You know, like James Earl Jones is gonna be, I don't know, but like it seems like that there has to be something, because you know, everybody, it seems like every year it's like heightened expectations for what's going to be in Hall H, and if you don't really if like Loki doesn't come out in a costume, then everybody loses their minds.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
know.
Personally, like I kind of like the fact that that J.J. Abrams is being like secretive about stuff, like the fact that we don't have, you know, we don't know everything about the movie yet.
I like that too. I just don't like, I don't see, and maybe this is a corporate thing, I don't know, but it's like, look, if you're not going to have any big reveals, just stay away from Hall H. I mean, people have a certain expectation for Hall H panels, and that expectation is justified. It's the biggest hall in the entire thing. It's supposed to be for the biggest events, the biggest news, the biggest reveals. And if you're just going to be like, hey, y'all love Star Wars, right? We're still making it. Let's talk about how we're still making it. It's like, you don't need Hall H to do that. Just have your own panel or whatever. And then maybe it's a thing like they know it's going to pack out anyway, so they just want to get the biggest hall, and I understand that. But it's like, look, either give the people what they want, or just don't do Hall H. Like, if you don't have a big surprise, big reveal, or any big news or whatever, just, I mean, at least that's my opinion, stay away from Hall H, because people are going to walk away nothing but disappointed, and that's not what you want when it comes to your, right. Especially to like, you're relaunching Star Wars, where it's like, Star Wars is a strong brand, yes, but it has fallen on hard times. I mean, episode 1, 2, and 3 were pretty bad overall. 3 was okay, mainly because of the Darth Vader transformation, but Star Wars is not exactly a powerhouse right now. Maybe in terms of merchandising, how much money it makes, but in terms of like critical acclaim, people will always love Star Wars, but it's not going to give you a golden ticket. People are not just going to go gaga over a Star Wars movie because it has Star Wars in the title and it's got J.J. Abrams directing, and like, I'm sorry, it's just, you gotta do more than that, man. You gotta deliver. You gotta make a great movie, and
here.
You gotta do something. You gotta do something at Hall H. You can't just go there because you're Star Wars, okay? We gotta have standards, nerds.
You're gonna feel
standards.
Real salty if they're actually not in Hall H. I don't know.
If they're not in Hall H, then good. You're doing
Stay off my Hall H, kids.
You're doing the correct thing. I'm just like, it's like the same thing where it's just like, we're having an E3 press conference. We're not going to show you nothing new. We're just going to post a bunch of sales figures and just show you demos of remastered games from the PS2 era. Yeah, press conference. Nailed it. It's like, no, you didn't. That was terrible. Don't do another press conference if that's all you got.
You know what does impress me is the news that came out today that Matt was vociferous enough to find on his own. Matt, I don't know if there was a Batman vs Superman panel today or what, but it was at least announced that Ben Affleck and Jeff Jones are working on the new Batman movie.
Get it
Jones.
Right. Jones. He's only the creative director of DC. I'm no big deal.
Yeah, I'm very like. I mean, you know, I could do what he does. You know,
only one of the best comics writers like in the last 10 years. But whatever.
Yeah, that's me. And then Jeff Jones is like number 2, right?
Jeff Johns. It's not Jeff Jones.
Listen,
Johns, like your name.
I'll say his name however I want to.
Anyway, so there's this article going around, and people are bringing it up again because there is the Affleck paradigm. I don't know if paradigm is the right word to use. I just really wanted to use a word that doesn't make me sound smart. But there's the whole thing where it's like Affleck has this really strange thing going on, and I think there are different theories as to why it occurs. But he's not so good in movies that he doesn't write or direct. But he's pretty amazing in pretty much anything he wrote or directed, or he wrote and also directs. But if you don't have him writing or directing, all of a sudden things don't really work out too well. And people are speculating this is because different reasons. People are saying, oh, it's his ego, when he's the one calling all the shots. He doesn't have anyone else telling him what to do. So, he performs better when he's the boss, basically. I don't know. I mean, I don't really care about Hollywood personas or anything. I just watch the movies. I'm not going to go dig into this man's, personal psychological profile and try and figure out what makes him tick.
You're not going to, give him a Criminal Minds profile.
No, I don't care that much. But the interesting thing to me is, does this mean that Affleck is going to be terrible in Batman versus Superman, or not so great in Batman versus Superman, but he's going to be pretty darn good in the next Batman movie? To me, it's like, is that going to be a thing? Is that going to happen?
Well, I mean, to give you my perspective on this, I'm actually more excited about Jeff Johns.
You do it every time.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm not gonna apologize for my speech impediment.
It's not a speech impediment. You just want his last name to be Jones for some reason. I don't understand why.
Anyway, I'm excited about Jeff Johns' involvement because, as far as I know, he's involved in the Flash show, right? Like he was one of the. I don't know if he was a consultant on that or whatever. But it seems like he, everybody knows that I'm not the biggest fan of Arrow, and so but I really loved the Flash show, and it's interesting to having a. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. I've had to close my window. Sorry to rain. Sorry, folks. Continue.
I really like the Flash show, and since he's involved in that, I'm interested to see what a Batman movie with his influence in it looks like. Because as far as I know, this is his first involvement in a DC motion picture. There haven't been that many of them, but it's cool to me that he's involved.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the other interesting thing to me is with this I'm just going to call him Batfleck because it just keeps coming to my head. This upcoming possible Batfleck contradiction. The Batfleck, the Ben Affleck thing has been going on for a while, where he's terrible. He's not so good in movies he doesn't write or direct, but he is good in movies that he does write or direct. So this means that this is the first potential for the Affleck theory to kind of been put to the test in a way it's never been done before, because if it is true, it means he's not going to be so good in Batman vs. Superman, but he could be pretty good in the next Batman movie. But this has got to be the first time that this has ever happened where it's the same character. It's like, can you go from having a bad performance as Batman/Bruce Wayne to having a good one? Like, is that even possible? Because your portrayal is going to be the same, right? But maybe it's going to be better because you're writing it or you're co-writing it and you're directing it. So maybe you're going to do it the way you originally wanted to do. I don't know. This is the thing that's so intriguing to me. It's the ultimate experiment, the ultimate Batfleck experiment. Can he screw up the role and then redeem it? Is it possible?
Okay. Anyway, it's funny to me. I never even heard that theory, but I guess I'm also excited to hear a bit more about that. And the next story is there's going to be a Fox panel, which with the fact that and Matt didn't know this until right before this podcast, but Marvel, Sony, and Paramount are all kind of like absent for this Comic Con.
Yeah.
They're not
What
promoting
the
anything.
heck?
Um, which I don't know. Like people were speculating, like maybe the costs are too big for them. Maybe there wasn't a cost. There was some kind of cost benefit analysis, and you were just like, well, no, I guess.
Hmm.
Well, like for example, like I know that we went to the Philadelphia convention in May, and there was like a tiny.
You went to the Philadelphia convention
Oh,
in May.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, by the way. Didn't even tell me you were going. Just
Listen,
went and was like, oh yeah, I went there. Didn't even ask
we,
if I wanted you to pick me up anything. Didn't even ask.
we'll handle
You
this.
know that's where I get my prints. You know that's where I get my independent artist prints. It's the only place I can get them. Didn't even call. Didn't even send me a picture message like, "Hey, this is pretty cool. You want to pick it up?"
I'll send you an
Nope,
I'll send
not
you an
even.
edible arrangements. All right. I'm sorry.
No, no. If you knew me at all, you know that's more of an insult than a
Okay.
I don't know apology.
Okay. We'll handle this after the
Edible
podcast.
arrangement. You're going to apologize for not getting me awesome comic book artwork with fruit that looks like flowers. Do you even know who I am?
But
John,
there
it's
is a
like you don't
bacon.
even
There is a
know
bacon
me.
roses one, right? That's one of the.
I don't even care about bacon that much, John. I don't even.
Okay, we'll settle our relationship problems after the podcast. Um, so all that
Yeah,
to
we'll see
say
about
about
that.
Marvel, Paramount, and Sony. I know
Yeah, they're not showing up.
Marvel had an Ant
I
Man
get Paramount and Sony.
teaser thing. Not a teaser thing. They had
Hmm.
a somebody at the convention that was like standing next to a tiny billboard for Ant Man,
Hmm.
and I guess he was like
Hmm.
handing out some kind of. So I didn't even get anything from him. Um, but so like it was kind of so I don't know like if they were like having that like those guys like secret promotional agents um at different Wizard World conventions.
Maybe.
Um
Seems like that's a counterproductive marketing strategy, though. I don't know.
yeah,
Like
man,
it's clever, yes. Thematic tie-in, yeah, it works with the theme, but um, does it actually get many people excited about Ant-Man, or do they actually hand out that many flyers?
yeah, like I don't
Maybe
even
not.
I didn't get anything from him. I don't know if it was just like it was kind of off-putting to me because I just thought he was there as like a volunteer, and then I saw the
Uh-huh.
Ant-Man thing, and for some reason,
Yeah.
just mentally, I just didn't. You're right. It didn't like intrigue me. It was just like, oh, this like I think I was about to run into him, so like maybe I was just like,
Mhm.
oh, sorry, excuse me, and then as I was walking by, I realized, uh, who he was, why he was there. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know if they are just choosing other promotional venues or something. But that means that the pressure is now on Warner Brothers and Fox to really promote their stuff. And there's
Mhm.
going to be a Fox panel, and it's going to talk about Fantastic Four, which, to be honest, I need something to excite me about it because I'm
Yeah.
not really that interested. Um,
Oh, I mean, to me, like, well, the last Fantastic Four movies weren't that great. The only thing I liked about the both of them combined really was the Silver Surfer, even though he was just in the second one. Um, and it's just like with the old Fantastic Four movies not leaving a great impression, and the new ones like they're doing the whole like tween thing all over again. And yeah, a lot of the actors are older than tweens or whatever, but we know what they're going for. They're putting in young attractive males and making everyone in the thing like super young and super relatable again or whatever. And it's just like like I know there was a lot of controversy over Michael B. Jordan being the Human Torch. I didn't get that. I thought he could be the Human Torch. I don't understand why that's an issue. And in fact, like he's the only character change, the only actor change that I kind of like I'm okay with because the Human Torch was always supposed to be the youngest, brashest member of the group. So I'm fine with them getting a younger guy a relatively new actor to like the whole Hollywood scene and to play a young, brash character. Like, that works. What I don't like is them getting someone who is like barely over 20 to play Reed Richards. Like, Reed Richards is supposed to be like in his 40s, like mid 40s or something. Like, he's in every adaptation of him, he has like that graying hair and his sideburns, and it's like, and they get this young 20 something to play him, and I'm like, why do you do this?
Unfortunately, that's going to be it for this edition of the Graphically Christian podcast. There was a really bad storm, and Matt's internet connection went down, and mine got pretty spotty. So, yep, that's going to be it. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and you're looking forward to all this Comic-Con news as well. And just to remind you, graphicallychristian.com is where our content is going. And we would really appreciate your support at patreon.com/christiancomics. We really want to change the narrative of Christianity in the new media world, and we are two Christians who love God and believe in what the Bible says, but we also want to create a place of positivity, of encouragement, and a place that really shows what Jesus Christ was all about. We want to speak what we believe to be the truth in love. And if you look at our blog posts and our comics, we hope that you can see that we're different than a lot of the just political blogs and sites that are just for Christians preaching to the choir. We want to open up a discussion with non-believers, and we even post articles that are about secular artists that speak to us, because we understand and we enjoy secular art just as much as some of the Christian art that we enjoy, and we want to really do something special, and I hope that you want to be a part of it as well. So graphicallychristian.com for our content, youtube.com/comicfan740 for my content. Matt will also be rolling out his own YouTube channel, and the different members of graphicallychristian.com, as the site grows, will also have their own YouTube presences. But as for now, this podcast is going to go up on /comicfan740 on YouTube, and we would appreciate any amount of donations at our patreon.com/christiancomics profile. Thank you for listening, and may God bless the rest of your day.